Hello, YouTube coin collectors and stackers. Today we're going to be looking at a collection that I purchased earlier this week from a gentleman who had inherited it when a relative passed away. And we're going to be going through the good and the bad and the ugly of buying collections from the public, particularly these inherited collections, because you never know what's in there. And the person that he inherited this collection from was more of an accumulator than a collector. So if you've been a collector for a while, you would understand the difference. A collector is much more focused in their approach. Some collectors are so incredibly focused that they only collect one thing, say Seated Liberty half dollars, or only things from the Carson City Mint, or only Lincoln cents, or only, or typeset collectors, right? People who are collecting, they want to get one of every coin from the United States, and they want to get one, high example of every coin. So those are collectors and collecting styles. And then there's accumulators. I think we all start off as accumulators. You see a cool coin, you buy it. You see a cool coin, you buy it. And as you learn more about the coins, I think we all get more dialed in on what it is we like and collect. And then there's some people that just accumulate. They just like coins. They don't necessarily have any particular direction, and they just accumulate them. So in this video, we're going to go through the good, the bad, and the ugly of buying collections from the public. Some advice that I can give to some folks if you have family members that are sort of doing the same thing. So let's kind of get started. Before we go any further, let's look at something that's really good and cool. And this is probably my favorite thing from this collection. I had not seen one of these before. This is I think it's a 2016. I think that's Mongolian. But this is this Mongolian coin that has this falcon on it. Let me open it up. It's a nice case. But just an absolutely beautiful, beautiful coin. It's got these Swarovski crystals in the eyes, and just the, all the detail and the feathers. Yeah, it is 2016. All the detail. This was stunning. This is probably my favorite coin from the whole collection. It is a coin. It's issued by the country of Mongolia. Also in the collection, which was quite nice, was a full set of 2013 Silver Eagles. As you can see here, we got every one. We got the proof, we got the reverse proof, we have the burnished or the unburnished, the regular one, and the enhanced. So that was really nice to see as well. And some more modern stuff that they had, which was kind of cool, but it's modern stuff, as you have these kind of early issue full set from 2018, all the quarters and proofs. This is actually this is a full reverse proof set, which was interesting. And this is a really kind of interesting, cool one. I hadn't seen this one in person, but this is the Sacagawea reverse proof of the Jim Thorpe. Yeah, Jim Thorpe. So this was kind of a cool thing as well. And then there was another one from 2019. I'm sorry, from 2019 that also included, which for some reason this one wasn't slab, but the 2019 W proof Lincoln cent. So we had those. So those are sort of on the good side, especially that falcon was pretty cool. You never go wrong with Silver Eagles. And then, some other cool stuff that was kind of nice with these 2019 Australian coins. You have a koala, the kangaroo, and of course the kookaburra. All very nice coins that you can get in your collection. Now, while these coins are all nice and cool, what was less cool to find out was how much this relative had paid for these coins. Most of these coins were essentially got through a subscription program and were in incredibly inflated prices. So those of us who have been doing this for a while understand who these folks are. I'm not here to call anybody out or question anyone's business practices. Hey, it's a free economy. It's a free, I believe in capitalism and, caveat emptor and all of these things. But some of these companies do prey on certain demographics, and we'll see that as we kind of get through to the ugly. So that was some of the good stuff. We also had, this was kind of nice, although these are cull, but I always like these old reales. We got an 8 reales, a 4 reales, a 2, and a 1 all in here. So these are, pieces of 8 and bits. So you got this 2-bit coin here, which, is the equivalent of a quarter. That's what they used to call a quarter, 2 bits. And you can see the condition. I mean, these are all cull condition, but they're still cool. They're old. They're not particularly valuable because of the condition they're in, even though that one's from 1760 or 1780, and that one's from 1801. But they're just cool to find. It's kind of cool to come across these things. There are also some old large cents. There was an 1803 in there, again in a cull condition with some corrosion on it. But Still cool to find. Then we have, of course, these sets that you see here down below. So we have a complete run of these sets from 1999 all the way to 2017. Every single silver proof set in that run, plus several years of just the quarters only. I think there's 6 or 7 of those. And then we have the sort of pre-silver sets before we went to the state quarters. So there's a run of these from 93 to 98. Older than that, we have some nice ones, and you can see the bands. So these weren't purchased from the mint. These were purchased from one of these subscription companies. And, you have this nice 55 proof set. There's a 56 proof set. These are the 2 best proof sets in the bunch, although there is a 2012 as well, silver proof set. So this runs, with the exception of 1960, right through 64. The 64 is not a special Kennedy proof. What do they call it? You guys will have to help me out with this. It's the special hair, the detailed hair one, where you look for the serif on the eye that's missing. That one's not in here. I'm going to go back through this and look for some of the varieties that might be on some of the Franklin proofs, but I haven't had a chance to do that yet. So this is sort of the good. So these are decent. These are obviously decent. Now, what's again not decent is the prices that were paid. As I was going through and appraising and then making offers on this stuff, I was constantly being, kind of confronted with, and I don't blame the gentleman. I get it. He had all the invoices from this relative and said, oh, no, he paid, X for this. And it was like 6 times what this is worth, right? He paid Y for this, and it was 4 times what, you or I could buy it for on eBay or at your local coin shop. So I had to kind of talk him through. Now, he had done enough research to know that, a lot of the stuff that his relative had purchased wasn't particularly valuable. So now we're going to move on to sort of the middle range stuff that is in this range of, sort of kind of valuable. So we have, this is this came in, of course, these fancy wooden cases and stuff that we've disposed of. But this is just your sort of run-of-the-mill. It's the silver collection. I'm sorry, I got another one, then I'll show you in a minute. But in this silver collection, we talk about quality control from these companies. There was like a clad $half in this complete silver collection from this one company. And then we have this other one, which is a complete set of all of the, bicentennial, quarter $half, and Eisenhower dollars. And again, if I were to take these out and show you, the quality control is all over the place. So in the silver set, there's clad ones in there. And this gentleman may not have understood to look at the side to see if it was silver or clad. But a couple of them slipped through their quality control. When you look at these guys, we have, nice proofs in here. And then we have highly circulated ones. You can kind of see this one down here. It's highly circulated. This one's highly circulated. So you have new ones that look like they came out of mint sets and proof sets mixed in with ones that are, look like they just, someone dumped a whole bunch of them off at the bank and a representative from that company happened to show up at the right time to get them all. So there's bags and bags of that kind of stuff that's there, again, of mixed quality. Then we sort of get into stuff like this, which is, modern, clad, commemorative type of things, is a Proof 68 decam from 1992. It's actually a nice coin. I love coins with sailing ships on them, and this is a very pretty coin. So I would say that, not a bad coin. It's a nice coin. It's in a holder from a reputable company, Annex. So, although some of you may disagree with me about that, but I do think Annex is a reputable company. Some of the other ones were from PCGS. Then we started to get into this kind of stuff. Piles of this. AACGS, America's Alliance Coin Grading Service. Which, when you look at this slab next to a normal slab, I'm like, okay, why in the heck does this have to be so big? These things are so big and unwieldy. And, you look at this, you go, is this really a Proof 67? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. I can see, it's got some hits on it. It's got some other stuff. It's hard to tell if that's on the case. But we have piles of this. And then stuff that's just like, here's a clad proof, Kennedy, bicentennial $half. And my God, why would you ever slab this? These are $2 coins. These $2 Statue of Liberty clad $half. No one in their right mind is going to slab that. But apparently at AACGS, all bets are off. All of these are obviously going to get cracked out of these because these are just take up too much space, and the holders themselves are, not of any value other than some sort of weird curiosity. Again, look at this, the 1987 S proof set, Proof 67. mean, this concept is nice, you know, as far as getting them all in a holder together so you can look at them. But what's the difference between this? Why wouldn't you just put a sticker on, you know, the proof set, kind of like they do with the old GSA Morgan dollars and stuff, and peace dollars, right? They come in the GSA packaging and they just, you know, slap a sticker on it. And then we just kind of get into the really ridiculous stuff, like just your standard, you know, National Park, America the Beautiful quarters. And again, I have like a pile of that stuff. But that doesn't end there, right? You kind of get on a slippery slope, and we get into things like, and if you've watched my videos on the flowing hair dollar, you know, we know how much controversy this had, both in terms of the mint not minting as many as they said they would, and then with the gold one, all of the strange stuff that happened with that, and the auctioning that happened with the ones with the privy on them. This is not one of those. This precedes that, and it's it's, you know, 3/9 fine silver. It's a replica. Even says copy on the back. They're not trying to fool anybody there, and it's kind of actually a nice silver round. What makes it weird is it's not a troy ounce or anything like this. It's 20 grams, so it's about, you know, 2/3 of an ounce, thereabouts, sort of, kind of. You know, but it's nice, you know, but, you know, what's the resale market for this? Who knows? Again, it's in this like strange slab that makes it sort of look official, kind of, you know, trying to emulate this sort of official looking slab, but not overall, not a bad product. But again, when you look at the prices paid, and I don't want to embarrass the companies that are making these, but when you look at the prices that are paid for essentially 2/3 of an ounce of silver on this, it's pretty obscene. Another one that we have, and, you know, a lot of this stuff, and again, the boxes, but, you know, the boxes all look like this. So a lot of the stuff I showed you that's in Ziploc bags came in these big, crazy, like space-consuming boxes. The boxes are free, and then you get on the subscription to fill them up. And in here we have a schoolgirl. Whoops, I let it slip who this is, but come say, come saw. This, at least, I mean, you know, a couple things about this. So this was a, you know, a specimen coin. It was one of the concepts for the Morgan dollar, called the schoolgirl Morgan. So this mint made a replica of it. And honestly, I think it's pretty cool as far as a silver round. It is 1 ounce of silver, so that makes sense. It's very attractive as far as like just a silver round goes. You know, it's got like the decam and the mirrored fields and all of this stuff on here, which makes it, I think, a very attractive silver round. But again, the prices that this relative paid for this essentially generic silver round were obscenely high. Then moving on from there, because those aren't bad, at least they're silver, they're bullion, kind of like these. He had a bunch of these. There's Jimmy Carter. I think that this is Liberia. Yeah, I think Liberia made these at some point. Yeah, 2000, Republic of Liberia. And these have about, you know, $18, $19 worth of silver in them. So at least they're silver coins. They're not badly done. They're interesting. I don't know what the resale is for this. I don't know anybody personally that collects things like this. But it is cool. I don't know if they have one for each president, but he's got several presidents where they have them, and maybe Liberia did them. I haven't done the research on it. Then we start to move into stuff that is, you know, just overpriced, but not necessarily terrible. So here is a bag. This bag may look familiar to some of you who have been in the business for a while, but this is just literally just a bag of nickels. And they're not bad. I mean, they're, you know, I guess they're Unk nickels for the most part, or AU nickels, but nickels that we could generally find if we ran down to the bank and ordered a box of nickels and went through it, and we would, you know, get these for a nickel each. Again, that's not what this person paid for them. Now the crazy part comes is the pennies. So on some sort of a subscription basis, there are literally bags and bags. Let me just grab them all. I'm not going to have them all go back to camera at once. Bags and bags and bags of these pennies that are each individually in these other bags inside there, you can see. And there were nickels like this, pennies like this. Let me put this down over here. And I was asking, like, how much for these? You know, how much for these things? And he was like, well, you know, they were X. You know, again, I'm not here to point fingers at anybody, but you can do your own research online by looking some of these people up and then looking up what stuff actually sells for. But it was obscene how much they were getting for penny. Now, we talk about quality control again, and I'm not going to fish a bunch of pennies out of there. But there's examples like where I was not surprised. I've looked at enough of this stuff to go, okay, that's like good. Maybe it's very good. That one's bordering on fine. Some of them get into maybe very fine. Every once in a while, you'll find an XF. So, you're looking through it and kind of going through the 20s. He had the bags well organized, like the teens and the 20s and the 30s and so on. And we're kind of going through it all. And there's a 2015 S in there. That's kind of nice. There's a 2013 S in there. They're both in sort of like fine, very fine, low, very fine shape. Then we get to 1922 Denver, and there's like an AU 22D in there. So, and then, you start to get into the 30s, and now we have some that are heavily circulated, and then some that are like BU red coins. And so again, it gets down to this quality control of he's paying about the same for most of these pennies. And, you're getting everything from a sort of AU 22 Denver to a very fine 1915 San Francisco to then just a total junk 1909. Which, why would you throw in a junk 1909? That's one of the cheapest, most interesting things. It's the first year, right? So as we try to move on from that stuff, we get into, and I just have a couple examples. So here are these two Buffalo nickels. And you can see, obviously, they're well-worn, trying to keep it out of the ring light. Well-worn. They've been buffed up so they're shiny. Nice old trick. Each one has been encapsulated in this. Yeah, these are glass, I think, or they're something that feels like glass. And so there's a whole pile. I mean, I got a pile of these. And what these did is they inserted in around the base of an actual buffalo statue that was free. And then you get two of these each month. And these were, two for $49.99, right? So these are buffalo nickels that you would find in better shape in your dealer's buffalo nickel bin for $1 each, $1.50 each. And these are $25 each. And they go around the base of this buffalo statue. Similarly, he also had a pile of these. Let me see if I can get them. So these are so badly worn. These are Indian cents. And same concept. Badly worn, corroded. And, $49.99 for two went around the base of the famous statue by James Earl Fraser of the Indian hunched over the horse with the spear sticking up. So very cool statues, the buffalo, the Indian, but obviously not very cool coins. And like the pennies, the quality of these is all over the place. Some are AG and some are VF. Most of them are like maybe AG to good, but some of them are actually VF, and the years don't make sense. There's like more common years that are, basically AG, and then there's like a little slightly tougher years that are like VF, and, it's kind of like they're just throwing this stuff in the bins and not thinking about it. Now we're going to kind of wrap up with the ugly. I guess that was kind of ugly. Now we're going to get into stuff that everybody agrees is ugly for the prices that are charged, right? So pennies of the 20th century. And this is a lovely one right here. 1909 First Lincoln cent. That's about the worst 1909 I've seen in a long time. We have 100 years of U.S. pennies and nickels. So we throw in, a kind of rebuffed zinc nickel here, a war nickel that's in bad shape, and some other cull kind of nickels. We've all seen these. This is $1.50 worth of coins that was something like $20. This one's not bad, although you can tell that those have been messed with as far as making them look nice again. But overall, not terrible. But again, the price is terrible. This is obviously everybody's favorite one to run into as sort of the junk bin at your coin shop where they throw all these things in and they're $3 each. Is the old Lincoln Strange but True one. I think I'm just going to leave this one in here because, what's nice about this one at least has a 40% silver $half in it. So at least there's some value in here. And what's that, a 1959, which is the first, if you're a typeset collector, that's the first year of the memorial cent. So maybe there's something to this, but this is just a fun one to have. Then, large date and small date, 1960. We have World War II, obsolete coin collection. Obsolete and cull and ugly and retouched. Junk 90, stuck in a fancy folder. The junkiest of junk 90. I mean, look at these. These are just terrible. These are probably these aren't even as good, about good. They're probably fair to poor, no dates. on some of these as well. So you guys kind of get the idea. I'm not going to show you a whole lot more. But so in going through these collections, we buy them from the public. We have this idea of people that collect and people that accumulate. Most of the things that we see coming in the business from the public are accumulations. They're not tried and true collections. The tried and true collections that we see typically go to the Stax Bowers, the Heritages, the great collections of the world. They're the ones that, you know, the really high-end collectors know about and engage with when they go to sell some stuff. But not particularly interested in this painted Glacier 2011 quarter that has been, you know, obviously a cull quarter that someone said, hey, if we painted it, it might look nice. And, you know, those high-end auction houses certainly aren't going to be carrying a lot of these 24 karat gold treated holographic quarters that we have, as well as we kind of wrap up the ugly. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts below. Thank you guys for listening and tuning in as always. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps us grow the channel. And as always, happy collecting.